Well, hi guys, Miss Jessica here, and welcome to day 6 of our November daily draw. Now for our word today, we are going to be thinking about scarves. And just like my little character here, I love to bundle up in my scarf when it gets really, really cold. So we're going to be drawing this guy today. So what we're going to need is some paper to draw on. It could be any paper you have, maybe your sketchbook. We're going to need chalk pastels, markers, and then definitely a pencil and Sharpie. Now remember, you can always use different kinds of Sharpies, maybe fine tip ones or just a regular old Sharpie. So let's go ahead and get started with our drawing. So grab your paper and turn it vertical up and down, and you're definitely going to want to write the number 6 at the top because that is our day today. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to draw this cute little character. You can turn it to anybody you want. Maybe it's you, maybe it's just a random character you decide to create. So I'm going to start with my scarf shape. We're going to need a curved line. So you can start anywhere. I assume or would recommend the middle. And we're going to draw a curved line almost like a long letter U. It's kind of what I want you guys to think about that line as, like a long letter U. At the end, now one more thing before we move on, is that you guys should definitely be using your pencils for this. We're going to be erasing some stuff, and how big you make that is how big the head will be. So if you make this line super skinny, the head's going to be really small. If you make it really big, the head's going to be big. So keep that in mind as you continue. But again, feel free to pause this video as much as you need to kind of work on and be creative. At the end of your line though, we're going to curve it down, kind of like a C and a backwards C. It's going to be the top part of the scarf, and we're going to layer it kind of like a cake. So once you get that good size, make sure they're about the same. Should be the biggest. We're just going to connect them together. Really important today is those curves. Scarves are not straight like blocks. They're round and soft. So to show that, we don't want to draw hard edges. We want to draw really soft curved lines. So keep that in mind as well. Underneath, we're going to do one more layer. It's a little bit shorter. So I'm going to draw one more C and backwards C. Again, they're just a little bit smaller. It almost looks like a pool that you'd blow up in your backyard. And then just connect that together one more time. Now, right now it may not look exactly like a scarf, so we're going to add a little bit of it hanging down over the front, which is going to be right here towards the bottom. So I'm going to start on the left side between my two little lumps of scarf here. And I'm just going to curve it down and out. And no wrong way to do this, so just kind of have fun. Think of the shape. It should be curvy, not straight. Same line. It's going to go on from small to big. Reason why is because it's kind of tucked up in that scarf, and then it just kind of flows out at the bottom. And then just connect that together when you're done. Now this is when we're going to need to erase. Now since I can't do that with my Sharpie, you see my red line, please go ahead and just erase that. So it's going to be right in the middle of the part of the scarf we just drew. All right, great job, guys. So now we can work on the head of our character. And like I said before, this is going to be where the size of the head's going to be. Now it's okay, it's a big scarf, and so we're close to his face. We're just going to draw a curved line from the top. Very, very curved, you don't want to make it too tall. We're going to only be seeing the eyes, so it's like his eyes are peeking out from the big scarf, so don't make it super, super big. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and draw the eyes. So right at the bottom, I'm just going to make 2 circles. You guys can definitely have fun with the way that the eyes looked, and it looks a little silly right now, but we're going to add some hair in just a second. I'm just going to put 2 more smaller circles in the top right corner, like a highlight. So go ahead and add some eyes. You can make them cute eyes. You can do eyelashes, maybe eyebrows, whatever you're kind of feeling for those eyes today. But remember, no nose and no mouth. It's hiding behind our scarf. Now, one of the last things we need is hair. You guys are more than welcome to do any hair you want. But I want you to be thinking about wearing a scarf. So I'm going to bring this one back so we can see. Scarf, usually you tuck your hair inside, so that way it keeps you nice and warm. So if I had a scarf on, you would just see the top of my hair, just like my character here. So if you want to, you could always draw hair that comes up. Maybe it's a bun, ponytail, something like that. Maybe there's just shorter hair, but we wouldn't really see long hair. It would be tucked into that scarf. So you just have to think about, what does the top of that hair look like? Is it wavy? Is it more straight? So I want you guys to kind of think about those things as we get started on the hair. To draw hair like this though, I'll show you. I'm going to start on the side, so not in the middle. Depends on where the part of the hair goes. And I'm going to curve it down and up. And I'm just going to touch the scarf. Same thing on the other side, down and up again. You guys can make that look however you want, but it's good to have hair that goes over the forehead. Even though my hair is up, it actually has some hair coming on the forehead. The top of my hair would be way up here. As you can see, I still have a lot there. But we do want to add some stuff that goes up, because hair isn't just stuck straight to your head, it's big. So I'm going to begin in the same corner where I began on the top this time, and I'm just going to curve it up and down, and I'm going to make mine a little flowy. Also think if you wear a scarf, if you've ever done that before, a sweater gets really big, it kind of pushes your hair up, so maybe make that hair a little bit bigger. Happens to me all the time. Now, that's going to be it for short hair. If you wanted, again, add maybe a bun or little pigtails, I'm going to leave that up to you. I'll show you, though, you could always add just an oval or a circle at the top, and that could be like a little bun on the hair. So go ahead and decide how you want your hair to look. And once you've finished, again, erase anything that's inside that hair. We should all have one line. You can just go ahead and erase that when you're finished. And that, my friends, is the end of our drawing portion for today's daily draw. One more thing I'll mention is any creativity you'd like to add to the scarf. So maybe you want to draw some fun details, maybe you have a favorite Christmas scarf. I'm going to leave that up to you. I'll be doing a pattern with stripes. So what I recommend is if you'd like to join the stripe pattern with me, definitely draw that now before we move on to that coloring step. So all I'm going to do is draw curved lines. It's important they're curved. Remember I said scarves aren't like blocks, they're not straight, curved edges. So every stripe I draw, I'm going to curve. So there's two stripes, they're curving to the left, and the two over here are going to curve to the right. So if you'd like to add stripes, you can, up to you. Same thing on the bottom row, it's going to curve to the right. Just kind of spreading them around. You can make them closer together, that's up to you. And then curve them to the left on the left side. Now for this part hanging down, they wouldn't go up and down, they go side to side. So I'm going to curve my lines up this time, and then curve some of them down as the scarf goes down. So these are just a couple things you could do or add. Again, you can always add more. One more thing I'll show you is just at the end, if you want to draw some tassels, you're more than welcome to add that, or just leave it the straight part of the scarf. All right, now that is officially going to be the end here, so I'm going to leave it up to you for details, but next we need to trace everything. So I've drawn one before so you guys can see. This is all my lines are erased now, so there's no lines in the head, no lines in the scarf, just the ones I want to keep, and I colored in my eyes with my Sharpie. So please go ahead now, grab a Sharpie. You can use different line widths, so maybe some parts a little skinnier like the hair or the stripes, or some part has thicker Sharpie. I'm going to leave that up to you guys. Please pause your video, go ahead and trace everything, and then press play when you're ready to color. Alright, it's time to color, so hopefully everything is traced. We're going to begin with markers. Now, like always, you guys can use different materials. You don't have to follow along with the materials, and be creative today. Now, for fall, for November, we're thinking of our color scheme of orange, yellow, red, brown, and a little bit of green thrown in as well. So we're thinking of fall, fall leaves. So I want you guys to be thinking of those colors as we continue. I'm going to start with my hair. You guys can do any color you want, but I'm going to do brown for my hair because that's one of my colors. So I have my little bun. I'm going to outline nicely. Just fill that in. And really take your time on these. To the bottom of the hair. I'm going to do mostly marker and chalk today. But like always, have fun with your materials. Maybe you're doing all of them in oil pastel and watercolors. We'll be doing a really cool technique as well. I'll turn mine into a very detailed pattern on my scarf, but you again don't have to follow along. Maybe you just like to see how it's done. Once you're done with the hair, we're actually not going to color the skin. There's a really good reason why, and I'll tell you guys later. So skip the face and just jump straight to the scarf. Be creative, have fun. Think of different colors, our color scheme, reds, yellows, oranges, maybe a little green thrown in there as well. So I'm going to be using different shades of those, starting with orange. One of my favorite orange markers is this one. It's a really dark orange. Reminds me of fall. And I'm just going to do a pattern. So any big spot on these skinny lines, I'm going to fill in with a different color. So again, you guys can follow along or come up with your own pattern. Maybe you drew different things on your scarf. You can always add layers to it, which is exactly what I'm going to do. So maybe you drew yourself today, maybe you changed the hair so it looks a little more like you. I think this one looks a little bit more like me because I like to wear my hair in a bun. And I love the color orange. That burnt orange is really pretty. I feel like I'd wear this. So go ahead and just continue to color in all those parts of the scarf. For the background, I'm not going to add anything, but you're more than welcome to. Maybe you live in a place where it snows a lot. It doesn't snow here where I am. Maybe you like to visit the snow, so you can always add different things there. Maybe it doesn't snow yet. You have to wait till winter, but the leaves start to fall. So maybe you want to add some falling leaves in the background. Those are all really good ideas for creativity. Now remember though, if you're going to do red and green scarf, we're not quite yet to our December month. So I do recommend maybe sticking with some oranges and yellows and browns. If you're still having trouble at this point, if you've just been listening and following along, I do recommend maybe grabbing a piece of paper and testing out a couple different colors next to each other to see which colors you like better together. That's always what I like to do before I begin coloring. Alright, I'm almost done, just a few more, but remember this is a video, so always pause if you need to finish something that I have moved on from as well. Double check you got your white spaces, can't stress that enough. Anytime you draw or color something in. Alright, now again for my other part, I'm going to do a peach. Now you guys might not have peach, that's okay. Whatever you do have, you may use that color. Peach is kind of like a really light brown. So I'm going to use that to add just a little bit more. Since I don't have a light brown, I'm just going to use my peach. But again, you can use whatever color. Yellow, red, even brown and orange would look really good together. Maybe you did your hair a different color. You can always do your hair black too. I forgot to mention, even though it's not one of our colors, black's kind of neutral. So it can work for any color scheme. Alright, almost done. Now what I'm going to do is on top of my marker, I'm going to be adding lines to create a little bit more of an intricate pattern. You do not have to do that. Feel free to just be creative and have fun. But there's still one more thing we're going to do with chalk pastels. So please make sure to stick around just to hear that last step before. But again, you might not be following along with the scarf. Alright, so our brown. I'm going to be using brown to create lines just like you see here. Now you don't have to add this part at the bottom. This is what we call cross hatching, and it just makes it look a little bit more like shading, but since it's a scarf, it'd probably be knitted. But I'm going to add the lines that are here in the middle. So if you want to grab your marker, you can, or maybe a pencil and just follow along. I'm going to use brown because it'll show up, but a red would look really nice as well, or maybe a darker orange. So I'm going to start on every part that has a big stripe, not the skinny one. I'm going to draw one line in the middle. Remember to curve those lines. You don't want them to be straight. Any part, so again, it's like a pattern, right in the middle. You can't see it, that's okay, you don't have to add it. Remember, these ones would be going side to side. So go ahead and finish up again. Anywhere in the middle you see your pattern. Now you can leave it like this, it would look pretty cool. But if you want to continue to draw it kind of like the one I had before, we're going to go side to side now. We're going to add 2 stripes in each little layer of our scarf. So I will start at the top, and I got to curve it all the way around. Don't draw that straight. And one more time towards the bottom. And same thing again. Now down here it's a little smaller, so I'm just going to add 1 line in the middle. Stop, hop. And I'm going to do 2 lines curving down and stop. So you can definitely go ahead and stop here if you would like. Again, if you want to practice some cross hatching, you're more than welcome to. You would just take your marker, If you remember from last month, you can begin, or if you're not sure, I can show you a little bit more. But in just a second, I'll show you guys the little cheeks here, and that will be the end of our daily draw. So we're going to do a little bit of cross hatching. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring back my other one so it's a little easier to see because there's so much color and lines on my picture there. So I want to make it a lot easier for you guys. So use this on your color one, but you're going to take your marker and just along the bottom, you're going to draw diagonal lines. Now I'm going to continue with my brown so it's much easier and it matches that color. But notice how I just went all the way across, just on that top layer. You can add more or less, maybe do a little bit down at the bottom. Now we have our lines going in one direction, we're going to switch it and have it go in the opposite direction. And that, you guys, is cross hatching. So hatching is the lines, the direction we're going, and crossing them is when you, like an X, cross them together. And it makes it seem like there's shading even though there's not. So it's just another way to do that. I'm going to add some on the right side of the part of the scarf hanging down. And again, just crossing. So make sure you go in two different directions. And that's all I would do on the scarf. I wouldn't add any on the face just because we didn't color it, so we wouldn't really have a color to choose from. So again, if you want to follow along, you don't have to. It's up to you. But last thing, I'm going to move back to my picture here, is the cheeks. So we're going to need some chalk pastels for that. And when it's really cold outside, which is when you would wear a scarf, your cheeks get really red. So we're going to add that. Now if you have more chalk than just these colors, you can grab maybe a pink or a peach color. I'm just going to use red though, because that's one of our colors we're using. I'm going to hold it like a pencil, and I want to try to use the edge here. And right next to those eyes, I'm just going to add a little bit of chalk on both sides. Not under the eye, but right on the sides of it. That's all I need. Take one finger, and I'm just going to blend it around and kind of push it up into the face. Because again, your whole cheek's going to start getting red. So I don't want to go on my scarf, but I can go around just like so. If you need a little bit more than welcome to get a little bit more on your picture. But that'll kind of give that illusion that your person is super cold, so their cheeks are turning kind of red. And that, my friends, is the end of Daily Draw for Day 6. Now, feel free to continue and add some more creativity. My name is Miss Jessica, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye!